Organization and planning. Sounds really sexy, doesn't it? Okay, so it's really important though. I'm going to talk to you about several different ways that you can shift what you're doing, or you may just go, yes, I already do that. Yes, I do that. I don't do that. I can add that, whatever it is. We're going to cover quite a bit today. So organization and planning means that we're going to look at things, but what I want you to think of is in terms, instead of black and white, think of it in terms of the gray areas. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean that sometimes we have very black and white thinking. If you think back to a time when you were trying to lose weight or diet or what have you, if you've ever done that, if you take one bite of something, it's like, oh, all bets are off. I'm just going to have the entire thing. Or the Last Supper, this is the last time I'm going to do this. I start tomorrow, right? Black or white thinking. And then that would carry over into relationships too. That person pissed me off. I'm just going to cut them out. Bam. Well, that's not how a healthy, loving life is normally run, let's say. It's more in the gray area. That person pissed me off. So let me take a look at what's going on there. What do I need to look at? What's the reflection here? What do I need to say to take care of myself rather than just say, you're out? And it may be that person needs to be out, but there should be a process that happens, a thought process, a loving process in life that's about living in the gray area. And so one of the things I want to talk to you about is time and money in regards to organization and planning. Time and money. And a lot of us are strapped for money. And I'm going to ask you to start buying organic. And you're going to say, or I've had people say to me, oh, I can't afford that. Well, yeah, you probably can, maybe, if you shift some things around. Now, some of you, yeah, I get it, mac and cheese. I was raised that way. My mother was a single mom and she had 3 teenage girls and she would get paid every 2 weeks. And so we'd go to the grocery store and we would buy all the fixins, all the staples for 2 weeks, and then we'd buy some fun stuff. The fun stuff was gone in a day. Absolutely. We just ripped through it, right? And then toward the end of the 2 weeks, we'd go in and we'd get the flour and the butter and the sugar and we'd just we wouldn't even make a cake. We'd just eat the dough. And that's how I was raised. I told you about the ice cream earlier. Bless her heart, she became a single mom when I was 11 years old. And she had spent 17 years being a mom at home, and she suddenly had to be in the workforce. And that's difficult. If you're a single mom out there, God bless you, man. You are like nurses to me. You are amazing. We had to do food stamps and we had to do dumpster diving. And when you dumpster dive, what it is these huge dumpsters used to be out and behind grocery stores, and they would throw out the day old, like the stamp they have on there, eat by blah, blah. The minute it hit that, they would then throw it all away. Well, it was, lime jello with fruit in it. And it was weird cakes and donuts and all this stuff. But for us, we were kids and we thought it was fun. So it's not like I'm just saying, I understand if money is an issue. But what I'd like you to begin to take a look at is where you can maybe shave off of here and start going over here. And you can go to a farmer's market and get foods that are less expensive. Sprouts is a really great one for less expensive organic. And one of the things that I want you to begin to do is shop more frequently. I would shop for 2 weeks because that's what I learned. Then half of it would go bad or half of it ended up in the freezer. And I just, start over again in 2 weeks. And the food was not fresh. The fresher the food, the more alive it is, the more you're putting alive stuff in your body, your live body is able to process that. Think about it. So going and there's in France, actually, they've done studies about the healthiest cultures on earth. And one of them is France. And I'm thinking, yeah, but they smoke and they drink a lot of wine but they go to these fresh markets and they literally go every day, every second or third day, something like that. And I thought that was fascinating. So shop more and try to shop organic because, for obvious reasons, or if you don't know, the pesticides that they use are really, they build up in your system and they don't move out like you'd want them to. So, and if you can't do organic, then be careful of things like banana, or not bananas, but blueberries. Those you definitely want to buy organic, and strawberries. Bananas are okay to buy non-organic because they've got that big fat skin on them, but wash as much as you can. But the more you can buy organic and the fresher they are, the better off you'll be. Your body will be able to utilize it as fuel. And that's what you want. That's what food is, actually. It's fuel. It is energy producing. It transforms into energy for the human body, and every live cell on the planet has some sort of, respiration process where they get fed. I want to talk to you about healthy snacks. If you're a snacker, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you how much to eat or when to eat or how often to eat. For me, I eat 3 small meals and I eat a couple of snacks. For my body type, it seems to have worked better for me over the years. And so I have healthy snacks on hand. In the last module, I put my protein cake recipe in there because it's so delicious and you can change it up. I change the fruit in it, or right now I'm really into stevia chocolate chips and chocolate powder. So it's got like a chocolate thing. And then you can totally, if you're a calorie counter, you can figure all that out. And then you'll know what a portion is and that kind of thing. But having healthy snacks like hummus and celery. Now, hummus has a lot of really healthy fat in it, so measure it out with a tablespoon or something. For me, I love apples. I either do apples alone or I do apples with a tablespoon of coconut peanut spread or almond butter or something like that if I need something a little more substantial. But again, I'm very conscious. Everything you do in this area, if there's been a lot of unconsciousness, you want to be conscious in the gray area, right? You want to be conscious in a non-judgmental way and just go, I see what I used to do. I'm going to do this differently here. And are you going to do it perfectly? No. Okay? Nothing is ever done perfectly. We are human beings. Hello, welcome. I said that to my mother-in-law. I just want to be the perfect parent. And she started laughing hysterically. I'm like, whoa. But it freed me, and it turned out I wasn't a perfect parent. I don't think any parent is, but we all do our very best. And that's what I want you to do here. Just do your best. Now, I want to talk about another thing that you can do, another activity, is to go into your kitchen right after this video. In fact, go into the kitchen and get rid of all your poisons. Do it well, actually, if you're still hungry, you might not want to do this. But if you've just eaten, go in, get rid of everything that does not serve your body. Now, don't get rid of your husband's stuff. Maybe put his stuff in his own section. We don't get to dictate what they eat or don't eat, and they don't get to dictate to us. There's nothing worse than somebody telling me I can't have something. Okay? Remember the can't have, must have? Don't tell me. Okay? I will just have more of it. So go into your cupboard, go into your refrigerator, go in and get rid of things that are out of date. Get rid of things that don't serve your body. Get rid of things that aren't on your food plan, whatever you decide your food plan is. Why would they be there anyway, right? Eventually they'll get eaten. Say you have a bag of crunchy things and it's not on your plan or your idea for your ideal health, give it to the homeless. So clear the space, and then, I know, do recipes. Find some new recipes. There's some really simple, easy recipes out there, and I actually put a couple of links to some. So they happen to both. One of them is vegan, the other one's just super healthy, or maybe vegan, I'm not sure, but one of them is Nadia, and she traveled the world. She's got the most extraordinary recipes and ideas for food. And the other is Holland Hamid, and she's in Hawaii, also beautiful soul. She's vegan, but she doesn't push veganism, right? So honestly, if we're being completely honest, I mostly eat vegetarian, not because I'm vegetarian, but because I know that I need to have at least 70% of my food plan be vegetables and fruit, right? Live foods. And then the other, I don't eat red meat. Rarely eat chicken, more like the fish. And then I eat vegetarian protein burgers or whatever it is, and then you can combine beans and rice and whatever it is for you that is the healthiest. And I evolved to this. I started off, I'm going to be completely transparent with you right now. I started off with lean cuisines. That's how I was portion controlling, okay? Yes, I had a lean cuisine pizza every single night. But it was the best I could do. It was the best I could do. My child looked at me like, I just want to steal this out from under your, hands right now. But it was the best I could do. And now everything's fresh and everything is chopped and cooked and that kind of thing. And if you don't like to do it, maybe your partner does. Or maybe you can get a food service. If money's not an issue, maybe some food service or something. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the water that I mentioned earlier. So we are alkaline and acid, right? Alkaline and acid balance for a human being at optimal health is 7.36. And when we drink coffee or we drink wine or we drink or eat red meat or we get stressed or we get, somebody honks at us in traffic and that thing happens, that fight or flight, that releases toxins and hormones in your system, and so that's all acid, right? The alkaline is vegetables, and I do a whole list of vegetables, brain food that's in the PDF, all the things that help keep you on the 7.36 side. And you can even do, Tony Robbins talks about this, you can even get little strips that you can, saliva strips or urine strips or something to see what your pH is. But if you're eating well and that kind of thing, I'm sure you're fine. But the point is water. And we, I actually go to Whole Foods with a big 5-gallon jug and I refill it, because I'm recycling conscious. I don't buy the little bottles. I just can't do it. I can't. Plastic on the planet is, it's one of the things that really hurts my soul. It hurts my heart. So I try not to use plastic, but I refill these things, and I had the 4 of the big alkaline gallons, and I refill those. And then there's thing that is not pH, but it's pure, and I use that for coffee and tea and that kind of thing. So, and it's the least expensive way I've found to drink really, really clean alkalinized water, pH water, is to go and schlep it myself. Now, not everybody can carry a 5-gallon jug. Some people, you can get a machine put in that aerates it and creates that pH balance. It's completely up to you, but just drink the best water that you can and drink as not as much as you can. Drink enough for your body height and size, okay? And I talk about that in the PDF as well, what's really recommended. So sorry, fell off the side there. So one last thing in this section, and I know it's a long section. So is Ayurvedic medicine. I don't know if you've heard that or not. A lot of people have never heard of it before, and it comes from India, and it's thousands of years old. It's fascinating to me because there's the Vata, the Pitta, and the Kapha. And I'm a Kapha. And how you can tell is I hold weight. I hold on to weight. I love to eat. We're kind of rounded. Apparently Deepak Chopra and Oprah are both Kapha. You kind of want to hug them and that kind of thing. The Mother Earthy kind of thing, and Kapha. So I love avocados and, heavy foods I really love. But what I need to do as a Kapha is eat more spice and to eat more raw foods to balance my Kapha out, right? So the Pitta, which is my significant other, who's also 6 feet tall and a man, what that means is I live to eat. He eats to, he bulks up. He looks at a weight set and he gets a muscle. I just don't get it. But he also loves spices and he loves all that stuff. And they tend to have more mucus. And I actually did a podcast on this. You can listen to it with Dharma Shakti, who went through this, and it was very interesting. And so there are certain foods that he needs to balance out his dosha. They're called doshas. And then the vatas are the ones that they're drinking they're eating acai bowls and drinking protein drinks and little protein bars and that kind of thing. But because they're the creatives, man. They're the airy fairies and that beautiful sort of hippie vibe that I love so much. And so I hope no one's insulted by that, because it's really a compliment. They need to have more grounding food to balance it out, right? They eat so that they can live. So they tend to be very lean. That's an ectomorph, they sort of correlate the ectomorph and the vata and the pitta and the mesomorph and the kapha and the endomorph. I don't know if you've heard this. So endomorphs are very curvy. So anyway, it's just very fascinating. And if it resonates with you, you can go and study it and take a look at it. But I just found it very interesting and really helpful to me. So I'm adding more spices to what I eat, and I'm adding more raw foods. So that's it on that. It was a long one, but I appreciate you hanging in there. Go ahead and go to the PDF, read through it, or listen to the audio for that first part, because every one of them has an audio and kind of help you read through. And it's not exactly to script. And then the questions. Okay. All right. We'll see you next time.